Hello, Cath. So, hello. Cath, you got a banner here which says, can we trust the media?
Yes.
Now, what makes you... Can you trust the media, Cath?
No, I can't, David. Over quite a long time, over the last 6 years especially, I've found that the media hasn't given the whole picture to us. So I feel there's a lot of people that are unaware of a lot of things, such as vaccine damage, just the importance of keeping cash, not going all digital, like the digital IDs, a lot of things like that where the media feels it's got a bias, and that's why this sign is the one that I generally hold. So yeah,
It makes sense.
Yeah.
And on that note, I mean, it's a really good list of subjects that you highlighted there,
Thank you.
which are very pro, or else they're very quiet about.
Yeah.
One of the things they don't seem to say much about is the digital ID.
Yes.
It's very little coverage of a digital ID, actually, isn't it? Really.
Yes.
Do you feel that they're trying to hide the reality of what a digital ID looks like for the public?
I think possibly that's true, and I feel like there is a lack of recognition about how that curbs our freedom. So if everything's digital, everything can be switched off at the flick of a switch, whereas if you keep cash, keep things real, you've got much more freedom of, much more autonomy to make your own decisions. For instance, I'm aware that when there was a Canadian truckers' protest, they stopped their bank accounts, which in effect ended the protest. If everything's digital, that sort of thing can happen much more frequently.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a really good point, because I know the Canadians truckers protest was in 2021, and from what I recall, it was against the lockdowns in Canada,
Yes,
wasn't
it was indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys gotta think and use your brain. Come on. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. I lost my job. And I'm still here. I lost my job. My career. All for what?
Sometimes applying for government benefits can be a lengthy and complicated process. The Government of Canada's vision is to enable Canadians to use trusted digital identities for quick and easy access to online services. Emily's having a baby soon and is applying for benefits. Today, she has to complete an online application form, then wait 5 to 10 days for an access code. When it arrives in the mail, she will use it to create an account and set up direct deposit. What if she could do all this at once, from any device? She'd confirm who she is using her provincial or territorial trusted digital ID. Consent to using personal information from her digital ID, and may choose to receive notifications. Once approved, she'd decide how to get paid. That's it. The government's goal is to enable simple, fast, and convenient access to services anytime, anywhere, on any device. We're working with government and the private sector to build the foundation and standards for digital identity across Canada and internationally. The future is closer than you think.
It says, blind faith in authority is the greatest enemy of truth. And that was Albert Einstein said that.
So yeah, I'm definitely pro freedoms of choice on all these subjects. Also, weather modification is a huge subject, which I believe they are now acknowledging that they're doing, but a lot of that is hidden. So I feel like there's a loss of control over the quality of our air and the quality of our weather, which I think should be more publicised. So yeah,
it's very true. I mean, do you feel that they're trying to pretend they're just talking about this weather modification as though it's a brand new thing they're just starting to discuss, and that we have a choice to opt out of it if we don't like the sound of it. Whereas in fact some people say they've been doing it for many, many years.
I understand that they have from programmes like Harm and things back in the 1990s. They were starting to do it, and like I said, they are now admitting that they're doing that, but not generally. It's not generally known that they are. So yeah, there's lots of stuff I'd like to see much more open media coverage and communication and discussion on. Yeah, that's.
Experiments to dim the sun could be approved in weeks, which is all part of the government's attempts to slow down global warming.
They say the government has set aside £50 million of your taxpayers' money for geoengineering experiments. They want to reflect sunlight away from the Earth's surface. But should we be playing God?
There's a variety of different ways in which you could try to affect the planet's temperature. One is to try and make clouds brighter and more reflective, so they reflect more light into space, or try to spray water to create clouds. You could do things like, I mean, the really big stuff would be to try and put something out in space that would block some of the sun's rays.
These utopian ideas, these power-hungry, obviously Bill Gates is massively behind this in America, these so-called philanthropists that want to save the world, they have to remember that nature generally gets it right.
We need to stop playing God with the atmosphere. It's, you know, the experiment on sulfate, one of the side effects of pouring huge amounts of sulfate into the atmosphere is it could destroy the ozone layer.
Absolutely.
We just started healing it. Now to start destroying it again to stop climate change for the oil billionaires' profits doesn't make sense to me.
No.
Southern parts, it'll be a fine dry day. Good deal of sunshine to begin with, clouding over somewhat later on.
And another thing I was going to say, actually, in terms of media that you trust, is there any media out there which you do trust, and if so, is any particular anything you would recommend people actually watch?
I don't think there's any particular one, but there are different channels which are less controlled by the big corporations. So I do not have a television or listen to the BBC anymore.
You don't watch the BBC?
Yeah, so
You're a dangerous anti-BBC person.
Yes, that's it.
Viewers, you don't know who the cameraman is.
No
You don't know why you're being made to see these things. Nor do I. You're seeing me. I can't even see you. I may be dead by the time you watch this. Very possibly are. You don't know who's the man who's making things he wants you to see. Destroy your television sets. Now. You must listen to no orders. That's all I can tell you for this point in humanity. Believe me.
So there are other channels, but I think people have to find those for themselves. I wouldn't say I'd recommend any particular one, but there are more open channels of communication. And I think in general, things are becoming a little bit more open, even on those BBC, than they were, you know. But I just think overall, they tend to ridicule a lot of things that we are saying about freedom of choice.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome, David.
Any
Lovely to
final
speak
words?
to you.
Any
No,
final
just
words?
freedom is the biggest issues at hand here on a lot of different subjects.
Definitely is, and that's why we're here today, right?
Absolutely.
Promote a dialogue.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
If you understand, or if you don't, if you believe, or if you doubt, there's a universal justice, and the eyes of truth are always watching you.